You ready?
We're good? I'd like to welcome everyone to this City Council meeting on this October 14th of 2024. I'd like you all to please stand. And while we have Reverend Steve West, he will be giving the invocation, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a special guest.
Thank you so much. Let us pray together. God of grace and God of glory, we acknowledge your majestic presence tonight, and we thank you for your presence in our fair city, the city of Jacksonville, Alabama. We're aware that today is the day that many herald as a special day, both as Columbus Day and many others emphasize Indigenous Peoples Day. Help us today to lift up both aspects and many aspects of our founding as a nation, the positive influences of European culture, as well as the cultural giftedness of those who first discovered America. We are all part of the heritage of this great nation, and we must continue to learn each other's stories. Likewise, we ask you to bless this city and this city council tonight with a balanced awareness of the diverse blessings that so many kinds of people bring to the table in our community. We don't have to agree on everything to be in community together. We just have to be committed to unity together. Be with us tonight and be with the work of this council. Grant them wisdom and grant us all courage for the living of these days. And with awareness of the many faiths that might be represented here tonight, I lift up these prayers in the name of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Would you like to introduce our guest?
Yes. We have a special guest. His name is Trace Farrell. He's a second grader from Kittystone Elementary, and he's going to lead our pledge tonight.
Whenever you're ready.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, with that wonderful invocation and in the pledge, we'll have roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Present.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Present.
Ms. Laster? Here. Mr. Galloway?
We have proclamations. Do we have anyone here to receive the Respiratory Care Week and or the Extra Mile Day? No one present, so we'll move on. Move on to the work session part of the meeting. Item A in the work session is the acceptance of the minutes. Any questions? Anything? Motion to accept the minutes?
No.
Motion during work session.
Oh, that's true. Very good. Yeah, I was fast. Too fast.
You passed.
All right, well, no discussion on that. We'll move on to the next. The next one, is she still here? Did we not change B?
Yes, B is deleted.
B is gone? Okay. Item C will be the inmate housing agreement with the city of Gadsden. I think we've had some conversations amongst ourselves. Would anyone like to open this conversation up?
I think there, from what I have been approached about, and I'm sure most of y'all have too, is how the process works, getting them over here and then how they get back. I think it's the main questions I've had from several people that's about what the process is, and I guess that's the best thing I know to say. How does it work, I guess?
Or how's it not working?
Yeah, or how's it not working? You?
Yeah, and I think that it's being aware that, you know, someone has went to the level of I don't want to get my terms wrong here, so Richard might help me. So if someone's arrested and they are to be, and they're being charged. There's the prospect of them receiving bond maybe quickly thereafter. And so I don't know if in that transport time from municipal Gadsden to municipal Jacksonville, if that is so quick. But if they're transported by Gadsden Police Department to Jacksonville Police Department, and then within a matter of time that individual is able to be released, we cannot force them to get into a vehicle. I think that's breaking the law also. Coercing someone or forcing them into a vehicle cannot happen. But I don't know what kind of service we're providing to a person when they've broken a law or potentially broken a law and are transported. They didn't ask to be transported, but as a result of this agreement, they're being transported, and they've done whatever it takes to be released, and they're not even in the same zip code from where they were picked up, or at least in the same confines of the city. I don't know how that's really a service to the individual.
I guess my part that my brain didn't process all the way was, I thought, Gaston would bring them over here, and when they're at the point of a release or whatever, they would transport them back. And that may be where part of the communications of what they say they're gonna do, what they're not gonna do, or whatever. Is that, maybe that is.
Is that part of the contract? That they have to come back into?
No, ma'am.
No. So when someone's released, I think, and I know Assistant Chief Oden's here. If someone's released, they're released of their own to wherever they are, and if I was arrested in Jacksonville and I was processed in Jacksonville, and then I went through the legal process to be released, I'm released where I'm incarcerated.
That's true.
And I can see, our friends here from the paper, I'm not being arrested, hopefully, but that's over there.
We'll know in a little bit.
Yeah, I know it. But I could see that being, I'm looking at it from the person's standpoint of, they're probably, where are we driving to? I'm taking you to Jacksonville. Why? We have an agreement, that's where you're gonna be housed. Okay, wasn't planning on an all expenses taxpayer trip to Jacksonville, but let's go see it, and then whatever that, so they're still responsible for finding someone to get them back to where they were.
Chief, is it not the same thing that works that when y'all arrest somebody, sat somebody in there, they're let out, right?
That's correct.
They're on their own to get home or whatever, have somebody pick them up.
And that's what I can see that if I'm hearing, I'm at least in the city from where I was processed.
Yep.
And there's that prospect of someone, they're not just one city away, but jurisdictionally, they're multiple cities, and geopolitically, they're a county away. So in the agreement, I don't know if there's any modifications for, when someone's released back to city of Gadsden.
Is there a way, Chief, we could require that when that person is released here, someone needs to be here to pick them up, whether it's family or friends or Gadsden police? Could we throw that caveat in there, Richard? Is that, it won't work, will it?
No.
That's a bad idea.
Once they're released, they're released.
That's what I'm saying. If I've went through the bond process and I'm released. I'm no longer held, and I can refuse a ride.
There's no law against anyone walking our streets.
That's right.
So they're not breaking any laws once they're released if they decide to try to walk back to.
Like Andy said, they didn't ask to be brought over here either.
But it makes our citizens feel very uncomfortable that they're being released.
A real high percentage of them will call for somebody to pick them up, family member or whatever. I don't know the percentage, Jason and I know it's a very high percentage. If they give an opportunity to call, have
I
somebody
would
pick them
imagine
up.
most try that.
But one that doesn't,
Yeah.
could be a problem, one of them.
Assistant Chief, do you have anything to add? Anything to enlighten us more?
I know they're trying to work diligently to resurrect the problem, but I don't know a solution because like you said, the one person that doesn't want to drive it, I can't
There is also another caveat to this. Chief, you mind sharing what you shared with me before the meeting about how many times that we've had to take inmates back to gas or on ambulance runs?
Tony asked me when I come in how many calls we responded. In the 28 days since we've had prisoners with gas, we've made 6 EMS calls to the jail.
60.
60.
And some prisoners are better versed than others. You know, magical symptoms of chest pain, shortness of breath, diabetes, seizure disorders that gets them out of jail. Well, a lot of times when we transport that patient with our local resources, whether big gas and Anderson, to get them to the jail, they come into the hospital, they never go in. They just leave from the hospital. We have no way to recoup those funds, so it's just a free ambulance transport to get them out of Jackson.
Plus it takes it out of service.
Right.
I guess maybe this is a good question to ask now. Is there a term agreement or how many days if we wanted to say it was nice to work together, but it's not working from this end because of what it's costing us just for hospital trips?
I think it's a 6-month contract. I think the agreement you've got is a 6-month contract. I guess you're month behind, 5 months remaining. If Gadsden would transport, when they make bond, they're posting a bond with the municipal court of Gadsden.
That's right, it's not here.
And when you're released from jail, people who've been in jail tell you, when you're released from jail, you sign, you don't not necessarily sign your own bond, but you sign an acknowledgement of when your court date is. I do think you probably can in fact transport each and every one of these people back to the front desk at Gadsden's PD or their magistrate's desk. But if Jacksonville's stuck with the transport, that's a unit out of service down and back. It should be Gadsden that does it. It's Gadsden's prison. They should put that prisoner in front of their magistrate or their chief jailer or their chief corrections officer to inform that individual when his court date is, that his bond has been posted or he's posting his own bond with his signature. I think you can compel those defendants to get in the car and make that right. I do think you can do that, but who's driving the car is the issue. I think that's whose resources are going to provide that transportation.
What, Chief, a rough estimate, ambulance over and back, what price tag would you got?
Probably about $1,300.
Is that first class or?
That's all they have is first class.
Oh.
No, okay, so $1,300 and we've already been over 60 times. 60 round trip, right?
No, a lot of times, let me clarify that, we've been there 60 times, probably only we've transported a portion of those 60, but it still takes the resources and assets out of service.
In the contract, doesn't it say that the city of Gadsden's supposed to pay for medical costs?
I've never seen it, I don't know.
I seem to remember it saying that they had to.
It is, it does. So we don't, I know we're kind of laughing in jest on some of this, but it is an important matter, I feel, that we need to look into this. As I was informed, we can't vote right now because we're in the work session. But I would like if we just maybe kind of ask the mayor nicely to get with our legal counsel and the chief to see if there's something that can be worked out, even to the point of basically negating the contract. Are we okay with that? Are we good with that?
Yeah. Bring it next meeting.
I'd say, I think it's in the mayor's purview, being in city, just do anything. It's just, I think he has the feel of council, even though we didn't vote on anything. I think, I'm speaking for you and I shouldn't be.
And I
I'm
don't
used
seem
to
to
it.
remember our prior agreement that we had with another facility or with another, well, they were doing construction. I'm remembering that, right?
That
Is that
agreement,
clear?
that agreement was more housing,
That was housing,
and not
correct?
necessarily
That
processing.
worked perfect, I mean, we
Correct.
didn't have
Yeah,
any
that's
problem
what-
with it.
It says, other than for medical treatment provided inside the Jacksonville jail, the parties agree the daily fee does not include costs, charges, or expenses associated with providing medical, dental, vision, or mental health services to the city of Jacksonville inmates, which costs, charges, or expenses shall be reimbursed by the city of Gadsden as provided in this agreement.
I like the idea, the mayor knows kind of where we stand, and it could be a good setup, but I just think that the way the transportation doesn't, work from what people have seen and heard. But if the mayor's good with it, talk to Richard and
Yeah. Oh,
see whatever they need to work out.
I think, Keith, I don't think we'd be sending him a bill for those kind of.
Yeah.
Unless Richard reads that different than I do. We'll get him to look at it.
No invoice for it.
Yeah.
And that's what it says. It says the costs of all such care and treatment incurred by the city of Jacksonville shall be fully reimbursed by the city of Gadsden. When practical, the charges for all such care and treatment will be billed directly to the city of Gadsden.
Are we all clear? Is there anything else on this topic?
Well, the mayor, you know,
Sherry?
and then he can come with this.
Do you have anything to add, Sherry?
You know, just the safety of our citizens is very important. And that's what I've been getting calls about.
Okay, if there's nothing else, move on to, item D, farmer's market budget. I think y'all may have discussed this last meeting when I wasn't here.
Yeah, seemed like we did.
I don't think there was, I don't think,
Oh, we did.
Seemed like-
It's in the minutes.
Well, I think it was, she was asking, it was like they wanted $10,000, am I correct, Mayor?
Yes, yes.
And,
Right now, she's making 3,200,
yeah,
30.
I would now, personally, I wouldn't be totally against going to 5,000 if it'd help get her somebody to help, but I don't see going from where we are up to 10.
And if I remember some of that when it was discussed, is it's not all, some of this operational cost. That it's, that was talking about signage and then some,
Keep in mind, there's 30 Saturdays. She gets $10
yeah,
from each vendor for each of those Saturdays. And I believe she stood here and said she averaged about 40. So I
For the
said,
waiting.
well, maybe it's only about 30. So if you check my math, but I believe you're talking about 30 vendors at $10 in each, that's about $300 a Saturday. For 30 Saturdays, if I'm correct, that's about $9,000. Now that's supposed to be spent on promoting, advertising, those kind of things for the market. So she should have most of that $3,200 as her pay. But I agree, she probably does need some increase. I don't think it needs to be increased $10,000.
Is she saying she needs an assistant, like if she can't be there? That's basically what she wants.
What's that?
They're getting somebody to understand.
If you all recall, 22, when we started this, it was $2,600. Then we went to $3,200. And then we also added an assistant that was, I want to say $1,500 is what we added in 23. And so now we're 24, but we started with 3,200 without an assistant. So we were at the 4,700 mark when it was Carol and Ms. Spear together.
Well, can we see how it worked, the 5,000, she can make it work with the other money that she's got coming in to do, I mean, cause it's great to have, and we don't need to do anything that would create bumps in the road, but I think 10 grand's a little bit up there myself.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this is not something we have to deal with now. I hate to keep kicking it down the road, but we're about to have the last farmer's market of the season, and we'll start back up until next spring.
Yeah, I think we can kick it down the road a while, but not too awful long, because whoever does it needs to start planning ahead, know we're gonna be doing it, so. But even a couple of months down the road, you can do it without a problem.
I mean,
Part of that request was to change locations too, so that's another one we don't have to make a decision about right now, but we'll be thinking about that.
And that was what that operation was. If there was a change, it would be changing signage. That's what I was remembering.
She's mentioned the old bus barn down there as a possible location. I don't think we know enough about what's gonna happen on that property that she's looking for a permanent home. So I think right now, just have her thinking staying where she is, but we'll continue to look. The football field at Jermaine Springs looks like a real possibility for me. That may be getting too far out of town, but something to be thinking about anyway.
Well, do we want to, for the next meeting, have something, some verbiage about increasing it to
We could
$5,000?
go ahead and do that, and we can worry about location later, we'll go ahead and let her know what the pay is, where she make a decision, where she wants to continue.
Okay. You okay with that? Have that verbiage ready for next time? Yes, ma'am.
We usually just have that in her contract, which, are y'all ready to do that contract? You gonna talk to her about that, or just say that we're gonna just have an item that says that will be happening for everything?
Maybe a good opportunity to sit down and discuss with her the big picture, and if that's enough, and where she wants to pursue it.
Yeah, I can
Or not.
have that discussion with her.
We're just loading the mayor up tonight, aren't we?
I was just sitting there, oh, he's gonna be busy.
Patty did that one, she'll pay later.
I think the rest of us thinking it, Patty just said it aloud. Any other discussion on that?
No, sir.
Okay, next is the Alabama Municipal Official Training Act. Brenda?
So, they just passed this where any municipal official, whether your mayor or council member, has to have 10 hours of training annually during their first term in office, whether you have previously been a council member or mayor before, and then after that, it's five hours a year, term. If you're already CMO certified, which I believe, Sherry, are you the only one that's CMO certified?
She wears the brown.
She's teacher's pet, yes. she is.
You only have that 5 your first year because you're already certified.
I just think different.
You can get these credits with online classes, but you can also get them at the ALN Convention, Municipal Leadership Institute, Advocacy Day, orientation sessions, the ALN CMO Regional Training, the ALN Congressional Luncheons, NLC Congressional City Conference, and NLC City Summit. So you have multiple avenues of getting the hours that you need, but this begins in January 1 of 2025,
So we gotta get 10 the first year.
Well,
for those
Depends on
of
what
you
we do
that
next year.
are planning on trying to be reelected for next term, I would go ahead and get started in January. If you're not planning on being reelected, I won't have to worry about it. But-
So
We can have it out of the way
if they had
by-
already taken classes before January 2025, would that count toward it, the CMO hours?
I'll have to check into that. I do know that they said you could start early, I just don't know how early they said you could
I would think
start.
she already had some kind of elected hours. Mhm.
Yeah.
Right, you get
But you
hours.
can
for
also,
it.
it does say on the back of the first page, it says how do municipal officials find out how many credit hours they have earned in the CMO program, and it gives a phone number that you can contact, and they can send you a transcript, let you know what you have towards what you're doing, so that's a new thing that for the, this is gonna help you understand the things that I do.
Yes.
You don't think that I'm crazy.
Are you one of the ones that pushing this through?
No,
Well, we understand what
you
you.
go to those kinds of things.
I think it's good. It's really good. It gives you a better understanding, especially if you're when very new like me, never been in. Yeah, it was good.
That's all I got on that, unless y'all have any questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Move on to item F. It's the mayor and council members' pay and benefits. Just open conversation to see what everyone thought. I know.
did bring this to you before, and this is basically what I would,
Mhm.
gave you before, so, this is during budget season, so I think y'all have need time to think about it, but we do need to, if y'all are going to increase any of these, it's gonna need to be done in a resolution, and it has to be done by a certain time, so we need to get on it, so that we don't have to worry about it.
I'd rather not wait till the last minute if we're gonna do something. For everyone to understand the reason they do it this way, so you're basically not knowing, it's for the next council,
You don't know for
next
sure
mayor and
if it's
council.
for you or not, whether you're, yeah. Cause it will not go into effect until we meet the first day of the term of the next administration.
Looking at some of the information you sent, there are some that are smaller than we are that have Ohio, and then you've got some that are directly reversed. So, and then going by the size of the city and stuff like that. You know, I think it's something we probably need to look at because it's been 100 years since it's been changed. And,
I'm not that old.
oh, I'm sorry, Mayor.
It was 2016.
Regular council members.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
Regular council members haven't been increased since 1999. Council presidents hasn't been increased since, 2016, and the mayor's salary hasn't been increased since 2012. And that's just his salary as mayor, not including his.
Well, I think we need to look at it. I mean,
I did notice one thing about the survey. When you look at the classification of the city of Jacksonville, I can tell you who the lowest paid mayor is. But it may have something to do with the amount of work done in the city of Jacksonville.
No, I would disagree with the amount of work done. I mean, maybe due to your workload, what you get accomplished.
I don't know how well, okay, I just think we need to look at it. I know Cody's not here, you know.
Cody's, he has
got
some
ideas.
ideas.
And, do we just put it on the next?
We won't come up,
session,
we'll come up with some numbers.
Yeah.
You know, as you think about that too, you need to think about the structure a little bit, what you want to do about superintendent water work.
Yeah.
I think it'll make a difference of what that mayor's pay is,
Yep.
whether you continue down that same path as the mayor being the superintendent of utility. So good time to think about that as well. One does affect the other.
You guys had also inquired about the benefits for council members, so that's
Yeah.
on here. And then also cost of living raises, whether or not, if you want to allow the council members and mayor to get a cost of living raise for the rest of the state, you can also add that. So those are all on this, right, explanation. If you have any questions, you can just shoot me an email or whatever. I'll try to
If-
give as much of an answer as I can.
Right, if it matters to anyone, those are the two things that I would, benefits, let people can, and, but I'm not real comfortable with, cost of living raises. Because that's
Well,
kind of,
we're
in my
not-
opinion, defeats the purpose of voting on something for the next council. If you're voting yourself, cost of living raises, not saying anyone on this dais would do it, but it's possible that, you know, you'd be a thought that as you're giving across the board cost of living raises, because, once again, I'm stammering, but I just don't believe
No,
that.
I mean, these are
I
part,
don't know,
this,
that
this is not our
would-
job. I mean, like,
Right.
this is not,
Well, I mean, first of all, we're not doing it for the money anyhow. You know, I mean, all these cruises you can buy with, but, you know, we're doing it because we want to be a service to the city, so,
Exactly.
I don't figure in the money anywhere because that's,
You bump it up, you may get a higher quality of people.
Uh-oh.
so you're saying.
I'm talking,
So you're
I'm speaking
saying.
for myself.
now, wait a minute.
I was looking at those two.
Don't
I
put
know,
any of
that's
these
where he was
comments-
looking, Sherry. He was
Please
looking
don't
at
put
us.
any of these comments.
Yeah, I don't think a cost of living, again, the cost of livings are for our full-time, employees. This is, their job is their livelihood.
Bingo.
You know, I do think that there's some things within those benefits when you're talking about, I mean, even things like the, memberships at the community center. I mean, those are maybe personally enriching, obviously, but, you know, I don't know how much that costs the city, but it is something that would be an offer and there's an opportunity, so.
And you might, I was joking about the quality of people, because there's no better people than, this up here. But,
Print that one.
The insurance, I mean, depending on the age, being able to get someone to come in, if they leave one job and come into the other, if they're able to get insurance even at a lower rate. Or just the ability to, not requirement, just having that ability to.
It's an option.
It's an option.
And with that, there's still a pay that the individual has as responsibility.
It's up pay,
I mean,
yeah.
so it's not.
The premium's not free.
Yeah, the premium, you're paying. It's just that group aspect.
So,
You discuss
can we just come back? and
Let's try and have
the-
some numbers
Yeah.
in our heads before, if that's okay?
Sure.
All right, anything else on that?
No.
The next item is election qualifying fees. We're currently at $25.
This hasn't been increased since 1984.
Okay.
It cannot be no higher than $50. And if you so choose, you could make it different for a qualifying fee for a mayor versus regular council members. Some cities do that. They do a higher one for the mayor than they do for the council members.
The setting,
The process, why they do that, but
was it the setting of $25? I mean, why is it that? I mean, is that
it's just
minimum?
that's the number it was set at by the ordinance in 1984.
Good gracious.
So we've never increased it.
You were not even born.
I
yet,
was
were you?
too. As a matter of fact, I was. Thank you very much.
Well, you were laughing, I thought, well, I wouldn't even.
You were already drawing retirement in
Yes,
April.
I was.
But by law, it can't be no more than $50, so.
That's
I'm
state law.
surprised how low it was.
Well,
It was there just as some nominal
Yeah.
value to.
It might have been what the high amount was at the time, you know, but it's just never been increased, even though the state's allowed it to be increased, I don't know, I didn't look that far.
Well, the money goes into general fund?
So,
I'm not for raising it at all.
If that's how we're making our revenue and our budget,
We're in trouble.
we're in trouble. Yeah, I think we don't have to do anything.
No, you don't have to.
It's just as a,
Is that time
if it
to do
is to be, now's the time.
And since it hasn't been raised in such a long time, I brought it to the attention of the council.
I say let's just leave it. Let's
What do you think?
Just leave
move
it.
it on down the road.
Yeah.
That's one thing we got accomplished.
Nice
30 minutes later.
Not to run out to 84.
I mean, look, I got 29 and a half of them hours rented.
You already had that in?
That's what happens when you study.
All right, next item is any other business. We have any other business? Any other business before we get started on the,
No, sir.
anything? Anyone? Ms. Burt, you good?
Yeah.
Mayor, you good? Do we need a break? We want to just march through? All
March
right,
on.
Let's
let's
go
go
for it.
on. All right, so now we'll start our council meeting section of this, and we'll go to item 7, and that is the acceptance of the adoption of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next is the adoption of the agenda. I think we have some deletions.
And we do. To the main agenda, delete item number 6, work session. Item B, Senior State Masters game, Andrea Morris. Also to the main agenda, amend item 11, consider action to approve JPWP number 25-131, Jacksonville Public Library roofing per the attached. Item will be funded with Fund 40 GOW. To the main agenda, add item 13A, consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the 3-year agreement with Clearview, Alabama, I hope, per the attached. To the main agenda, add item 15, consider action to approve the employment of the following. Item C is Dalton Hunter Gilbert, police officer, range 18, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273, due to the resignation of Dalton Kreider. Also to the main agenda, add item 16A, consider action to accept the resignation of the following. And item A is Joshua Isaac Goodwin, full-time corrections officer, effective October 24, 2024. Then to the consent agenda, add to item 18, purchases over $7,500. Item number 2A is $7,961 to Gaston State Community College for fall 2024 training. Also to the consent agenda, add item 19, request to attend conference training session with costs exceeding $1,000. Item number 2 is $1,303 to Matthew Jordan Reagan to attend NRA handgun shotgun course in Dothan, January the 5th through 10th, 2025. And item 3 is $1,303 to Joshua Shears to attend NRA handgun shotgun instructor course in Dothan, January 5 through 10, 2025. Then finally, to the consent agenda, add to item 21, boards and committee. Number 2 is appointment, and A is Luke Hurst, zoning board of adjustment with terms to expire April 2027.
Thank you, ma'am. Do I have a motion to accept the
So
agenda?
moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
I will take note, we'll do it, I think, the right way this time. When it comes to consent agenda, I will abstain from the consent agenda because of the employment that I have at Gadsden State, even though I would not be purviewing those funds, considering that there are funds going for training. I'm very glad that they're getting trained by the best over there. So I will not vote no, I will abstain from consent agenda.
Okay.
And I know that there was an addition that is Clearview AI, which I'm familiar with, and it's the mayor to sign. It is AI. I know Clearview AI. Is that something that we already had as an existing agreement with Clearview AI, or is this, because I did not see anything in our packet about Clearview AI.
It was an amendment, we didn't have it, when I sent it back to that.
Okay. Do we have it now? Is there any way that we can review it? I mean, I'm just saying consent
I
agenda.
don't know how much you can
Read in that amount of time?
take out of it, because it was very, once we approve it, he said that it will go to a 3-year agreement, because that was the best pricing. But I can make you copies of it.
I just, I mean, I know that's what I was looking at, is that is not part of the consent agenda.
No.
So, I would just say, if there is things that get added, we need to have time to review any documents and know what we're voting on, as opposed to just putting it on the agenda is, I think, fine, but I can't in good conscience vote on something I've not even read what we're allowing the mayor to enter an agreement with.
Well, we may have to go back to the mandatory no amendment to the agenda on contracts and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Richard's reviewed it.
No, he didn't get it. It was the last minute thing.
Okay.
So,
It was talked about in the budget process, is what I was told,
Maybe.
this thing and
Who is doing this thing?
police.
Yeah, and I'm familiar with Clearview, and that's what, I mean, I know what they do, and I think it's more, and there's nothing, I think it's more on that process of, if there are late things, and if it's a matter of trying to get something before, a date that we gotta get something signed, we do those things all the time, but let's at least have the, what am I trying to think, maybe is it the courtesy to let's give us that chance to be informed, because I would certainly, someone leave the meeting, you voted on that, what'd you think about it? I never even saw it. I mean, I don't think that I'm serving.
I would prefer just not adding contracts after the thing, maybe we need.
And it might be the wording is that if the mayor to sign once it has been reviewed, and I don't know, I mean, you might know, Mayor, if you need to be signing this so that we don't miss out on some opportunity.
No, I agree with exactly what you're saying. I didn't get much of a chance to look at it either. I did look through it, but pretty hurriedly. We just got it.
Yeah.
And I trust all our department heads to do the job that they're tasked with doing and bringing things to us. But at the same time, we're the body that is to approve these and to divest that authority to you to sign that agreement.
I kind of assumed that by adding this, that Marcus looked at it, and it was okay, but, assuming, what happens.
Well, we
Jason
had,
may
we
know
had in our, you know, I mean, there's
more
things
about
that,
it.
yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know
know a lot of
if
the
you, if you
details of
know
the contract.
what's in the agreement or not, Odie, or
There's not,
Clearview, yeah.
It's just where our investigators can use it, it's, it was talked about, you know, budget meeting, but I don't know about the contract. I don't have it with me.
I have it, or I have semblance of the contract.
Are we under a time restraint? Are we under any type of time restraint on this?
I had a CMO training class on that.
Is there a date on that, Ms. Burt?
I don't see a date on it. It's got just got initial term, and then it's 3 years. Initial term start date of full execution is what it's got, so it doesn't have a date. I don't know if you see anything different on here.
Do you think there's an expiration that will? So let's, if it's okay, then one, we just won't add, that was an addition to the agenda anyway, just not, that was 13A. Just don't add 13A.
And I'll, I mean, if there is anything, I don't know, or if you're in communication with the chief or not, I don't know. Yeah, if there's anything that's ever a pressing time, I mean, I get that, because I deal in some of those things, like, we gotta move on this, or we're gonna miss the opportunity. We've talked about vehicles before and some of that, but, I mean, if we've got a document, even though it's an addition, let's just scan it, send it, and say, hey, it got to you 3 o'clock this afternoon, but you did get that so that you had a chance to look at it.
Well, if it's one we need.
Because it could be something simple.
Then if Richard reads it, the mayor's good with it, and the chief's good with it, then we put it on there to vote because it needs to be done with a deadline.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like he said, it's, well,
We pretty much have a policy of not having a contract on without Richard having an opportunity to look at it. I mean, I can read those things, but I'm not a lawyer. He picks up on things I miss. So we just, I don't know how we managed to get that one on there without him having an opportunity. But I'll have too quick, I guess.
Okay, so we're not adding 13A?
yes,
Am I correct in that?
yes.
So we good with moving?
Well, it was read as a
We'll need to
amend.
vote no on the original motion and second, and then we're gonna say we're removing 13A, and then y'all re-vote on it with the removal of 13A.
Okay. Everyone.
Sorry I'm difficult, y'all.
No, that's fine, that was good, that was a great point. So we have a motion, we have a second, we've had the discussion. Now, if there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. All opposed?
No.
No. Noes have it. So now we need to redo the agenda.
All Ms. Grant may need to do now is just say, delete item 13A and read it out loud, and then,
Then we'll have a motion
and then
as
the
amended.
motion second to adopt the agenda as so
Amended.
I'm not gonna make her re-say everything.
Okay, so just delete item 13A.
Think you have to read it.
Consider action.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign a 3-year agreement with Clearview AI per the attached.
All right. Now do I have a motion to accept the agenda as amended?
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, next is item 9. Public comments concerning any agenda item. This is your opportunity to address the council, to address us on anything that we just finally passed in that agenda. So if you'd like, you come up to the podium, state your name and address, and get with the city clerk before you leave. Seeing no one come forward, we'll move on to item 10.
Consider action to approve JPWP number 24-129, automated gas meter reading per the attached.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Having a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 11.
Consider action to approve JPWP number 25-131, Jacksonville Public Library roofing per the attached. Item will be funded with Fund 40 GOW.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 12.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the equipment service plan with Stryker for fire department equipment per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 13.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the traffic enforcement agreement with North Central Alabama Highway Safety Office for the period October 1, 2024 through September 30, 2025, per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 14.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the license agreement with Cellebrite for digital phone forensic software per the attached.
So moved.
Have a motion and seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 15.
Consider action to approve the employment of the following. A is Corey E. Henderson, laborer in street department, range 3, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the promotion of Bo Kuzi. Item B is Jason Rashad Prater, utility office field technician, range 11, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the resignation of Nick McPeak. And item C is Dalton Hunter Gilbert, police officer, range 18, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the resignation of Dalton Kreider.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 16.
Consider action to approve the promotion of the following. Ethan McCain, firefighter EMT, range 11, effective October 16, 2024, due to receiving his EMT state license.
So moved.
Second.
Now, motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 16A.
Consider action to accept the resignation of the following. Joshua Isaac Goodwin, full-time corrections officer, effective October 24, 2024.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Consent agenda.
Item 17, budget amendment requests. Item 18, purchases over $7,500. Item 19, request to attend conference training session with cost exceeding $1,000. Item 20, disposition of surplus property. Item 21, boards and committees.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Thank you, thank you, thank you all. All right, next item on the list is public comments for any general items. This is your opportunity to address the council for any general item. If you would like to do so, just come to the podium, state your name and address, and make sure you get with the city clerk before you leave. Seeing no one come forward, we'll move on. The council member remarks. Nothing? Anything?
Great event in Jacksonville with the Chip It, was that?
Yeah.
Chip It, I did a
Saturday.
mixed up, but it was at the community center and it was for all the animals, the free chips. They said their value for anywhere between $60 and $80 and they had a lot of people to come. So it was a great event. We
Yeah.
thank the organizers, which is, who was the organizer?
Animal advocates.
Yeah, that group.
Advocates, I
Mhm.
think.
Animal,
Advocates of Calhoun County, I think
Okay.
is their name.
So, good thing to have going on, Syria. Anyone else? If not, mayor's report.
Thank you very much. First part of my report, I'm gonna turn over to Jason. You wanna talk about fishing tournament again? Play fishing rodeo. It's your baby.
Weekend, we had a great event this year. I think not putting the net across the lake did not alter it one bit. It actually gave people more room to spread out. It was a great event, had a great turnout. Even though the weather was a little bit poor, we still had a great turnout. And people are still continuing to prosper from the lake. Saturday I was down there, there was still people fishing. Sunday, I'm sorry, yesterday I was down there, there was a lot of people still fishing Sunday. So thank y'all for always supporting this event and funding it. We It's a great event for the kids in the community.
I had someone contact me wanting to know if we were using some kind of special bait. I didn't let them in on the secret. You never tell people where your fishing hole is or what you're using.
I tell you, Odie was running around with rags coming out of each pocket and pliers in each hand, trying to get fish loose for the kids.
But even back to the money y'all spent on the pump has really helped. I mean, as far as keeping the lake full, turning it on, filling it back up, that it sure has stayed a lot prettier.
My crew was out there today, and I asked that question. I said, was the water down? Because we've had no measurable rain in 2 weeks. And I was told there was no noticeable difference in the full pond, or full pool there at the pond.
Thank you for watching it all the time, though. If you don't watch it and know what, it's very, very good.
The size of the fish too was kind of impressive, larger than last year. Some of them have matured.
I think all the kids had a great, man. I don't know any kid that didn't catch fish.
Now, I keep bragging on you guys for putting this together, but I think I really like most that it is just fishing. There's no bouncy houses. We don't have food trucks, which they have their place.
Yeah.
But that day and time, that's nothing but fishing. So once again, I appreciate it.
Bathroom trailer this year was.
Yes. And thank the fire department for putting water in the bathroom trailer so we could flood. My first thought was, what's wrong with it? Something broke. But that's teamwork. That's teamwork. That's a great community event. I think the weather was great. Perfect.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes, sir.
It was a great event. Thank you for what y'all do with that. Just some events coming up to make you aware. I guess one of them's actually going on right now, but you can't leave. But we have a double feature. This is spring break, fall break stuff that they're having all week, different events going on. So you can just read the list up there. I'm not really sure I understand about the pumpkin drop, but it sounds like fun. I won't read all those, but you see the list for something every night this week for kids to participate in. All of them sound like good events, so remember those and take advantage of those. Of course, we're into the Halloween stuff, and so coming up we have the walking tour. That starts at the library and walks around the square, gets some information about some of the buildings around the square. Nice event every year. Hope the weather's nice for that, so people can come out and learn some other things they might not know about the square. They maybe get spooked a little bit. And then finally, Halloween market, Saturday, October the 26th, 7 to 12. And you see the sponsors there, kind of keep those in mind. And the kind of things going on. A lot of things happen, vendors, crafts, and so forth. And that'll be the final farmers market of 2024. So, and that's all I have. Thank you. No, one other thing. Let me add to that. I was sorry to hear of the passing of Mrs. Lee Ledbetter. You know, Miss Ledbetter was a citizen of Jacksonville, I guess, her whole life, and worked very, very hard on getting equal pay for those women, and fought that all the way to the Supreme Court. Spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, and she passed Saturday. And I don't know the arrangements for her, but she did spent a lot of time, a lot of effort in improving working situation for ladies. She was very instrumental in getting a bill passed, fair pay bill passed. It's the first bill that President Obama signed after he took office, and a lot of that was due to her efforts. I remember seeing her being there at his inauguration because they were so appreciative of all the work she had done. And she's continued to work, even after that bill passed. She's continued to make talks all over this country about her story. And I don't know if she got to see her film or not. I'm interested. The film's out, the story of her story. But I don't know where she got an early showing of that. And I would assume maybe she did. Hope she got to see that. So look for that in the movies. It's simply, I think the title is simply Living. So she did a lot of good, wonderful things. So with that, that's all I have. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other businesses come before the council? All right, Ms. Burke.
Consider action to adjourn into an executive session under the provisions of the Code of Alabama, Section 36-25A-786, to discuss the consideration the governmental body is willing to offer or accept when considering the purchase, sale, exchange, or lease of real property.
So moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Just make sure the audience knows that we will not be returning, we're after the executive session, so thank you all for being here and have a safe night. All in favor, say, all in favor?
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Laster?
Yes.
Mr. Galloway?
Thank you, ma'am.